And so in conclusion, as we all know, the Stax archetype is just dead in the year 2020. Professor, I have a question. What if we added a bunch of Hangarback Walkers into the deck? Would that make it better? Let's find out. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. So Eric H sent me a tier 3 donation asking me to brew around Hangarback Walker plus Smokestax. So for those of you who haven't played a lot of other formats other than Legacy, you might not know this one. So it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. And most importantly, when it dies, you create a 1/1 colorless Thopter token with flying for each +1/+1 counter on it. And by spending 1 mana and tapping this, you can slowly grow this thing. So I want you to imagine this world, right? Like you have your opponent locked out via like Smokestacks. You're just kind of like doing your thing. Then all of a sudden you decide it's time for me to win the game. And you sacrifice this Hangarback Walker that has like 10 counters on it, just absolutely crapping Thopters everywhere. And then you swing for lethal. That's what I'm going for in this league. So kind of my game plan is to lock my opponent out using the traditional prison pieces of like Sphere of Resistance, Chalice of the Void, Lodestone, Golem. And I'm hoping that locking my opponent out with these cards or with an Ensnaring Bridge will allow me to buy time to get a bunch of my other bullshit going. And we have plenty of land-based disruption as well. We've got Wastelands, we've got Rishadan ports, we've even got some other utility stuff that I'll talk about in a second. Now we are playing an Urza's Saga package here, which kind of works against the Ensnaring Bridge, but we're not always going to have the Ensnaring Bridge or want to play them, right? So one of the things that the Urza's Saga package is going to allow us to do is find Retrofitter Foundry to make a bunch of permanents to maintain a Smokestack. I've also put a One of Expedition map in here, which most notably can find a Phyrexian Tower, which allows us to sacrifice a creature. Interesting. So then I've gone a little bit bananas. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me get rid of this logo for just a second. So I have a 15 card Karn tutor board package here, which is maybe overkill, but I really wanted to have a bunch of utility for this deck because I'm going to need some things like the ability to tutor for a way to get the Hangarback Walker. And I'm going to want to be able to tutor for a Smokestack, for example, as well. And then we have a little bit of everything else. You know, we have another bridge in there. We have a Trinisphere for some of the combo matchups if my other lock pieces don't kind of get me to where I need to go in the first place. We've got another Crucible there. And then we have like some random win conditions like Wormcoil Engine and Mycosynth Lattice as well. So the stack archetype is a little bit shaky, but I think last time around when I played it, I think I went like 4-1 or something like that. So like, or maybe it was a 3-2, but like I had a good league with the stacks. We're gonna see how this goes. I don't know how good the Hangarback Walker plan is, but it is gonna be really funny when it works. And so I'm looking forward to it for that alone. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and if you're a regular, throw me a like before this video begins. It's the easiest way to support my content for free. And remember, if you ever want to try this deck out or get one of your own decks on the channel, that information is always available in the video description. All right, let's get that top deck logo back, and let's battle. 5-land Snap Keep, 5-land Snap Keep. I have big mana for casting a Hangarback Walker. I have a ton of land-based disruption. I have Wasteland, Recursion. We're not really suited to beating a combo deck with this opening hand, but we should be pretty reasonable against fair stuff with a hand that looks like this. I have just so much mana denial, and mana denial that can attack from multiple different angles too. I will probably want this upkeep stop back. Let's get that back. Chalice. Yes, please. That's probably good against Flooded Strand. So I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to, like, Wasteland anything here. Urza's Saga. Okay. Do I want to play around a Daze? I don't think I want to play around a Daze here. Like, this whole Chalice into making constructs plan is very good if it works, and if it doesn't work, it gets a land out of my opponent's hand. Or not a land, a Force of Will and a blue card out of my opponent's hand. Okay. Brainstorm. I'm very bad against a back to basics, just to like call that ahead of time. If that's something that occurs, I think I just like snap concede to it. I'm not gonna lie, I considered putting a Voltaic Key in this deck list for like helping out with some of those situations, or like a Candelabra or something, and then decided against it because like you can only put so many 1-drops in your Chalice of the Void deck. They're awkward. Okay. My Chalice has resolved. Don't fetch and play back to basics. I don't care if you like Teferi, but back to basics is just an utter blow to the morale here. Okay, yeah, Teferi is fine. Absolutely. Absolutely accept that. Ah, yeah. I mean, it is an enchantment, right? I mean, surely I just play it again, right? Probably. And then I'll just try to get this into play. I'm not going to, like, worry about really trying to do anything with a Hangarback Walker against a deck with white removal where they can just, like, exile it. This is purely just to get something in play that can pressure this Teferi and keep it from repeatedly doing its thing. Oh, it's got something to think about over there. Prismatic Ending, I guess, on Chalice. They've tapped and untapped these lands, like, 7 times. Okay, they are going for the Walker. Interesting. Okay. So I need to get this token in play. I think I want to surprise my opponent with the Wasteland. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Glimmer Post here. We'll see what my opponent can come up with to do. Like, I have threatening things coming. Sure. Fine. Yep. So let's make my construct. Another Chalice. Nice. Let's make my construct. Okay. They're 3/3s. They're about to be 4/4s. I think I'll just get an Expedition map and use that to get another Urza Saga. So let's play map. Play Wasteland. Wasteland my opponent's Tundra. This will let me know whether or not like I'm looking at something like a Shark Typhoon immediately. Okay. That's slightly annoying, but ultimately fine. Sure. That'll be my turn. Next turn I can play another Chalice just by tapping Glimmer Post, and then I've got other options. We'll see if my opponent just cashes in Teferi here. They do. Like, they got good value out of that Planeswalker, so, like, that's fine. Damn it. Yeah. I don't know that I can beat this card. Like, my deck is just so incredibly mana intensive. I think I'm just going to concede. If I was playing this on my own, I would concede. But, like, for entertainment value here, I don't think I should keep playing this game. Otherwise, it's going to end up being, like, a 40-minute round where I do nothing and just lose to back to basics. I think I'm good just, like, losing to that card. Is there anything in the main deck that I don't want? I think the stuff that's here is reasonable. I might want to play the Pithing Needle for things like Teferi. I'm okay with bringing that into the main deck. And I'll board one Hangarback Walker out since they're kind of bad versus white removal. Okay, I can play a Sphere of Resistance on turn 1 if I want to, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to play this City of Traders later on. I am going to keep this hand, though. So let's play Glimmer Post and pass the turn. I've got a Sphere on turn 2, a Hangarback Walker for 1 on turn 3, and a Lodestone Golem after that. Not like the most exciting opener in the world, but it's probably like good enough to keep it. All right, shuffle on the Ponder. Port's a good draw. So let's go Port and attempt Sphere. Spheres are a little awkward versus Prismatic Ending. Okay. The old Daze control deck. Alice is good. I think I'm absolutely good with just slamming that card here. Like, it just puts my opponent to the test yet again. Or forces them to use their turn for a Prismatic Ending before they can do other stuff. Now I run into this awkward spot where I like have to think about whether or not I want to play a Lodestone Golem around Daze. Okay, I don't have to think about that. That's a fine draw. Okay, opponent's got something. Sure. So they are purely cycling that. So this does hit play. And at the end step, they sacrifice the dress down, and then my ability returns. Are we done? Did I win the game? So Schadenport backing a 5/3 is pretty damn good. All right. Land. Attempt to crash in for 5. Looks like we succeed. Now I think I'm fine with casting this for X is 2. Okay, so opponent started to tap some stuff here and then stopped doing it. Presumably is getting a plains. Oh no, it has to get a tundra. Daze is interesting. So they want me to pay for this daze. Oh, that's a super weird spot. Not paying for that. I would absolutely just rather continue to Rashad Port and not let my opponent get like a Teferi or Back to Basics or something like that into play. Eat that, Tundra. All right. Sure. Glimmer Post is fine. Not be using these Ensnaring Bridges right now. And honestly, I probably should have subbed the Ensnaring Bridges out for like Trinispheres or something like that. Continue to assault my opponent's mana base here. I'm going to slowly start ticking a Blast Zone up to 3 for Back to Basics and such, by the way. Sure. Okay. How bad is it? Okay. It's a lot of basics. It is a Back to Basics. So my whole plan of Blast Zoning that is not quite going to work. It's fine. I can Ghost Quarter myself at some point and turn like 2 of my lands into a waste. Does this enter untapped? That enters untapped, so I don't have to do it now. The opponent is going to go to 1. I'm going to hit them again. Nice. So hit for 5. Opponent goes to 1. My opponent's just dead, right? I just Walking Ballista? Or no, I can't do that immediately. I can go 4 mana, have 3 mana remaining. Or no, 5 mana. Okay, let's get my wastes. It seems like I'm going to use it. There we go. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play Karn. It resolves. I will minus Karn. Yes, I have 15 different cards to choose from. It feels like Walking Ballista is correct with my opponent at 1. So... Oh shit, non-artifact. Shit, okay. It's not Sphere. Sphere is everything. So I had a deterministic kill there that I just missed. Okay, there's the concession, but I fucked that up. Yeah, so I was thinking I had a Sphere in play, which was not true. I had a Lodestone Golem, which is a similar but slightly different effect. Okay, let's get bridges out now. Let's get a Trinisphere in. Brought the Pithing Needle in. Get a Ratchet Bomb in. Actually, do I want to be... no, we'll bring that in. And I want to leave this... be another Smokestack. Could be a Mystic Forge. I could just, like, play that as a reasonable Magic card. I could also just bring in the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Like, I still have plenty of reasonable Karn tutor targets. Turn 2 Trinisphere is totally reasonable. I don't have great follow-up from there, but if I draw an Ancient Tomb and I get to Trinisphere on turn 1, that's even better. And now Wasteland becomes a good draw as well. Shuffle with the Ponder. Alright. Land go. See what my opponent can do. Okay, sure. Crucible. I can also just, like, Rashad Port my opponent this turn and play the Trinisphere next turn. And then I don't run into the situation where, like, I just play a Trinisphere and then I get Back to Basics. I think I'm good with that. Like, it's a little bit slower of a game, but I think I'm okay with it. Makes things slightly more awkward for my opponent in some scenarios. So now if my opponent has another land drop, I just get, like, eaten alive by Back to Basics anyway. So I do think I will go ahead and just play the Trinisphere this turn. But I'm absolutely just losing to a Back to Basics, unfortunately. Like, my deck can't really beat that card. Okay. Is it just happening? Costs them a land here if they do it. Yeah, okay. I mean, I will keep playing until my opponent presents a real threat. Because there's the possibility that I just, like, pick a creature and ride it to victory. My opponent does not have 3 basic lands right now. Thank you, Cloudpost. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, my opponent has a threat. Oh, they just have an answer to the Trinosphere. Okay. That is quite bad for me. That just means that they can play whatever here. I'll probably just concede to a Teferi. Otherwise, this game is, I'll take one draw step. Yeah, I will happily concede there. We're not beating the back to basics deck as the random Smokestax deck with one basic land. It's not happening. Okay, round 2 opening hand. I have all the mana in the world and nothing really to do with it. I don't know if I should keep this hand or if I should just mulligan. Like, having an Ensnaring Bridge and a Crucible means I have a lot of protection from creature-based decks, but I won't be great against controller combo decks here. I think I'm going to send this one back. This is a better hand. I like this one. I'm probably going to throw back the City of Traders here. I think I get to keep one of the disappearing lands and not both of them. Alright, goodbye, City. The Grim Monolith isn't exactly fantastic right now, but it could be good in the future. Do I want to play Grim Monolith on turn 1 to play a Chalice around a Daze? I believe that I do. Like, if this eats a counterspell, I'm totally happy with that, and if it protects my Daze, or my Chalice, I'm totally happy with that as well. Oh, just snap resolved. Okay. Cool. So, the Grim Monolith doesn't do a lot, but it increases my artifact count, which is relevant for Urza Saga. Okay, looks like we're playing against a Prismatic Ending deck of some kind. Again. Rip my little, friend. Sylvan Library. Okay. Let's start this Urza Saga bullshit early on. So we'll follow that up with a Sphere of Resistance, which I'm guessing resolves based on the play pattern from the previous turn. And the Sylvan Library becomes a lot worse with both a Chalice of the Void and a Sphere of Resistance in play. So I'm hoping that I can ride this Urza Saga to victory. If I can't, I have, like, 2 more pieces of gas in hand. Okay, they're taking some damage. We'll see if they can remove one of my lock pieces this turn. Oh, we're a lot of colors over there. I like this Volcanic Island. That's very pretty. Fortunately, that's like a fake Magic Online only card, right? So that's never making it to paper. Alright, so they're Prismatic Ending-ing. Okay, yeah, my opponent cast a Prismatic Ending and then paid the Sphere of Resistance Axe, meaning its base cost was 1 and it got countered by Chalice of the Void. Yep. And opponent had mana to play around that as well. Okay. My opponent is playing a 4-color control deck of some kind. So the big question is, are they playing Uro? If they're playing Uro, I need these Ensnaring Bridges. If they're not playing Uro, I don't want these Ensnaring Bridges. Otherwise, I probably want everything that's in my deck or close to it. The Hangarback Walkers lose a little bit of oomph. I'm probably not going to play the bridges for this game before I kind of have a better idea of what my opponent is doing. In the dark here, I will probably play a bridge. I will probably play another Crucible. It seems like they're very heavy on non-basics, so my Wasteland Crucible plan is pretty good. And then I can just, like, board in something like Mystic Forge, Crucible, Ensnaring Bridge, something like this. Maybe I go down 1 mana source and bring all of that in. This leaves both of my Pithing Needle effects in the sideboard. It's very possible that I want a Pithing Needle effect in the main deck, but again, I don't know exactly what my opponent is doing, so I don't know if I need to needle like Jace or Teferi, or if Uro is their primary win condition, Sharks, you know. There's a lot of 3 to 5 color mush running around Legacy. Okay, it's usually 4 color. Sorry, black. Alright, how is this hand? Cloudpost on 1. Urza Saga Monolith on 2. Or maybe Wasteland Monolith on 2. I'm gonna keep this hand. I think it's a medium hand. But it has a lot of annoying cards in it. And the potential to get a lot better with draws like that one. Okay, no end of turn brainstorm or anything like that. Ooh, that's in there too. Sure. We'll just kind of run that back. Do I want to play the tapped Cloudpost? Yeah, I think for my sequencing, I need to just, like, get this Cloudpost down. Okay, there's another land drop. No play as the follow-up. I think I'm going to play a Wasteland. think I... Are there dazes over there? I'm just going to play this. If this eats a daze, it eats a daze. Okay. Could also eat actual factual counterspell. Force of Will, pitching, dress down. My opponent's deck is a little more in the controlling fashion. Okay, so it's going to be four color expressive iteration junk pile, probably with like Murktide Regents. That probably... Ooh, that's a good draw. All right, so I think I'm going to play Urza Saga. It's a little awkward for me. I really want to wasteland my opponent. I don't know that it's correct too. I think I'm going to go for a Monolith. Brings me up to 4 mana. So I can play the Lodestone Golem, but it's dead to either Lightning Bolt or Swords to Plowshares. Or I can play Sphere and wasteland my opponent, but then there's some worlds where I don't draw a land and this game gets really awkward for me. I don't think I get to wasteland my opponent here. So I'm going to go 3 mana. Use 1 of it to put the Expedition map in play. Ooh, that got a Force of Negation. Meaning that this Sphere probably resolves. Okay. I think I need to keep this Wasteland around for a turn so that I can guarantee to activate my Urza Saga, and then if I draw another land, I will be happy enough wastelanding my opponent. It kind of sucks because like the white for Prismatic Ending is how my opponent answers some of this stuff. That was a shuffle. Okay. I would have missed my land drop, so I'm very happy that I did not wasteland my opponent and like miss out on my Urza Saga construct tokens. Sure. What are we working with here? Okay, opponent does have Uros. They'll gain some life. They don't have a second green yet. Okay, there's their second green. All right, so I will go ahead and activate this. Getting me a 3/3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the play? I can go 2 mana, make a construct. They're 4/4s. Fetch Retrofitter Foundry. They're 5/5s. Activate their 6/6s. Activate again their 7/7s, and they outpace Uro. I think that's fine. Okay, so there's my construct. Grab Retrofitter Foundry. Play Retrofitter Foundry. Activate Retrofitter Foundry. Crash in for 6. Dress down on my opponent's end is incredibly batshit insane strong, but they pitched 1 to a Force of Will already. I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen. Okay, multiple Swords to Plowshares instead. Sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I get a little more mana than that actually, right? If I do this, I'll lose the city. That's fine. All right, I gain my 2 life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I go Karn into Tormod's Crypt. I'm just going to confirm that Tormod's Crypt is in my sideboard. It is. 5 mana, Karn. Minus Karn. Yes. Tormod's Crypt. 1 mana, Tormod's Crypt. And that is the concession. So we haven't done anything cute with Hangarback Walker yet because we keep getting paired against these white removal decks. But, you know, we're doing okay. Okay, I've kept my round 3 opening hand here. I have a lot of different lines here. I think I'm just going to lead on the tapped Cloud Post. Like, I could probably, like, talk about that situation for, like, 5 minutes, but I think I'm just going to lead on the... Fuck! Dead! Absolutely. Oh, not dead. Okay. Thought we were just, like, playing against Oops, but we're probably playing against an Omniscience deck instead. In which case, I have real game here. I can just go Wasteland, blow up that land, lay out an Expedition map. I have a bridge in hand for when they cast a Show and Tell, so they're going to have to win via, like, some other route. Sphere is very good here. I probably put my Monolith in play here, right? So go ahead and just, like, go do Monolith. Tap that. Use it to play the Sphere. Okay, Force, pitching an Ice Fang Coatl. Oh. Wild, okay. And now I've got floating mana. I will use that to crack this. And honestly, I think I just want to get a Wasteland. Like, I'll blow up my opponent's lands next turn. And eventually win with a Karn. Is this straight up a fair Seagate restoration, by the way? Like, is that a thing? Not really used to that being a thing. Okay. Opponent makes no semblance of trying to bluff anything there. I think we have probably locked my opponent out. Nice. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That does cost all my mana, because the Karn thing costs 1 extra. Yes! The stacks! Okay, so, like, the only time I've seen this card is in an Omniscience deck. I saw Snow-Covered Forest and Icefang Coatl and Caracas. This is a wild set of lands for that to still be a show and tell deck. What to do? No changes, deck is perfect. Feels okay to me. I'm probably going to bring in this Trinisphere, just like not knowing exactly what my opponent is doing. I know I Wastelanded my opponent out of that game, but they also are presumably playing enough basics to turn on Icefang Coatl, right? So that's a thing. Let's just board in this Trinisphere and call it good. I think I'm going to go down 1 Smokestack. Like, I still have access to them in the sideboard via Karn. Keep. This is turn 1 Trinisphere. Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith, Trinisphere. That is a fantastic turn 1. And, okay. Wild. Like, there's not even a Yorion hiding over there or anything. Ancient Tomb. Monolith. 3 mana. Trinisphere. Let's go! Oh, my 3-ball. All its radiant glory. I mean, that's fine. Like, I can still do any number of just absolutely fucking disgusting things on turn 2. Like, I can turn 2 Karn, I can turn 2 Lodestone Golem, I can turn 2 Sphere. I'm going to deal approximately 16 more damage to myself this game with Ancient Tombs, though. Just throwing that out there. Okay, Ponder is fine. I probably play Lodestone into Sphere of Resistance. I think that's my sequencing as of right now. So let's start by playing a new Grim Monolith. These spells are going to get expensive pretty quickly. And now I'm just going to play the Lodestone. It's just very, very good here in terms of a combination of a clock and a hate card. Okay. Those things don't answer Lodestone Golem before the Sphere of Resistance comes into play, unfortunately. Oh, I have to hit okay for that, sure. My opponent might just, like, legitimately lose here if they miss out on a land drop. Shilmore Ancient Tomb. Karn's cool. I think Sphere of Resistance is just better. Like, this is just so much taxation. Like, I still can play the Karn next turn. I might need something like a Wormcoil Engine. So Icefang Coatl costs how much right now? 4. My opponent can get the Snowland. I think I just play a Karn. Ow! Insert, like, Thanos meme about, like, what does it cost everything. I'm gonna minus this. I don't know what I'm getting yet. Yes. Everything's kind of awkward here, huh? I'm gonna get a Walking Ballista. No attack. I'm gonna play around Icefang Coatl. Okay, seems like my opponent has it. I really wish I had that Voltaic Key right about now to just go wild with these. Okay, there is the Icefang Coatl that I successfully played around. Now, that is a 6-turn clock, just throwing that out there. Like, that's very much something that can happen. What is this? What the fuck? This is the day of losing to 3 mana blue enchantments, huh? Was not expecting that. I guess I'm keeping the Lodestone Golem and the Sphere and attacking for 7. Sacrifice unless you pay 2? What is this shit? It's exceptionally hard for me to win through that. I think I'm going to sacrifice all of these. I think I have to use my Ancient Tomb to kill. Well, that 100% goes. I can pay 2 for this. No, I'll pay for this. I need to spike an untapped land that does not cost me life. Otherwise, I think I'm going to lose. Holy shit. What a draw. So now... Non-artifact? Non-artifact. Do I play this for 2? I think I do this for 2. And then I can play around another Icefang Coatl. So this brings me to 1. Do I have anything in my sideboard that I can reasonably get? I'm gonna just think about that while I make my attack. Hit for 5. Bring my opponent to 8. I can just keep plussing this Karn and not make that decision yet. I think I'm good with that. Alright. So is this Icefang Coatl getting frisky? It is. So I can't really pay for it anyway. I am just going to go ahead and ping that down. So I'll ping you. Now I will go ahead and pay for this with City of Traders. And Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. So I think I just have to attack here. Yeah. Please don't have another Icefang. Opponent goes to 2. Pithing Needle in my sideboard right now. Pithing Needle is in my sideboard right now. So let's minus. Yes. Grab Pithing Needle. Cast Pithing Needle. I'm gonna name Teferi to shut off something. Okay, they pitch another Seagate Restoration. Let's see if I die to another Icefang Coatl. I do not. Alright. Ha ha ha! Yes! So it's round 3, and we still haven't made a Thopter token yet with a Hangarback Walker, but damn it, we're trying. Hey folks, if you've made it this far in the video, you're probably enjoying my content. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. You know what they say, a subscriber a day keeps the mimics away. I am going to keep my opening hand here. I am more mana light than I would like to be, but I have multiple good early plays. And I have something insane like 29 lands in my deck, so I think I'm pretty likely to... God damn it. Are we just, like, playing against mono-white removal.league? Probably. Okay. Okay, there's another land. Okay, so do I play my Expedition map on turn 1 here? Or do I play my tapped Cloud Post? I think I want to get this map into play. I'm not sure whether or not I'll play a Chalice or a Sphere next turn. Like, I need more information about my opponent's deck. Like, there's even some world where I'm supposed to just slam a Chalice on 0 right here in case they are playing an artifact deck. But those usually aren't too heavy on fetch lands, because they're trying to fit in, like, some soul lands and Seat of the Synod and things like that. Yep. Alright, just mono white removal, and we are playing against an artifact deck. My map just getting shut off. My map is getting shut off. So how am I playing this game? Like, I can play the tap Cloud Post this turn, and then just try to play around my opponent's stuff. I have this Ensnaring Bridge that I can try to hide behind long term, but, like, it's super awkward with multiple Sphere of Resistances in my hand. And I could also Wasteland my opponent's Tundra and try to knock them off of white. I'm most afraid of something like a Stoneforge Mystic coming down. I think my mana is more valuable than my opponent's mana in a lot of cases here. We're gonna chill. And if I keep this Wasteland, I can keep it to deal with an Urza's Saga, which is much more threatening than a Tundra right now. Okay, so no fetch here. Ah. I can take these little hits for a while. Like, I'm not on an Ancient Tomb based hand or anything. Or Wasteland. I am willing to give my opponent 1 card to put a Chalice of the Void into play this turn. I feel like that Chalice of the Void will be worth at least 1 card. It gets a little awkward here if my opponent just, like, dazes this or something. But, like, it is what it is. I need to deploy some cards or I will just lose to, like, 1/1s of various natures. Yep, there we go. That's the deck, right? That's what this sort of deck does. I'm going to take 2 more damage this turn. Drop into 17, and my opponent can start making other little cards. Phyrexian Tower. Oh, these spheres are so bad against these Esper Sentinels that are already in play. I can't really empty my hand for Ensnaring Bridge. Like, I have respectable plays, it just requires me to let my opponent draw multiple cards and play into days. Every sphere I play makes my Ensnaring Bridges worse. Not a great matchup for me. Alright. I've determined my path to victory. Wasteland that. Oh? Okay, activate that, sure. And then we're going to play a new Wasteland. And we're going to Wasteland that. And my path to victory is hoping that I stick my opponents with cards, but not the ability to play them. That's kind of a big ask here, and I'm behind on board. But I don't really see myself winning in a lot of situations right now. So I think going for the Hail Mary plan is acceptable. Okay, they have more land drops. Oops, all Esper Sentinels. They're very good here, because I can't just, like, Karn and Walking Ballista this away. That's almost good. Yeah, I'm just falling further and further behind here. Like, I'll stick to this crazy plan that I came up with in the hopes that it works, but I need to start drawing, like, Cloud Posts and Glimmer Posts so that I can get out from under this. If I get to the point where I'm hellbent, I will probably win this game, right? Probably hard for my opponent to prismatic ending a bridge out of play with multiple Sphere of Resistances around. Yeah. I think I'm dead to that. Opponent has 6 artifacts in play already. It'll be a 7/7, 8/8, 9/9 by the time we're, like, starting to get to attacks. Yeah. Need to draw a land. Okay. So there is a land. That means that I can pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana for an Ensnaring Bridge. Give my opponent an Ancestral. No big deal. Prize. Yeah, so, like, the big difference here is my opponent's taxation effect is attached to a body, whereas mine is not. Okay, there's a Force of Will. I'm going to go ahead and concede there. I'm not coming back from that board, I don't think. All right, I want these sphere effects out of my deck. The ones attached to bodies are fine. My Ensnaring Bridges are awkward, but acceptable. This brings me 4 slots to mess around with. I want to be able to tutor for that, I think. Might bring that in. I will bring that in, I think. I will bring in Ratchet Bomb. Doing that on 1 is probably pretty good. And I'll probably bring in the Needle. So that is 4 for 4. I could consider going, like, a Grim Monolith out and just, like, bringing in something else. But I think this is okay. Have enough mana. Turn 1 Expedition Map, turn 2 find an Urza's Saga. With this, turn 3 play Urza's Saga. I don't think this hand wins. Keep. It's sus. This is one where I'm trying to get a free roll win by resolving a Chalice of the Void on turn 1. Like, I hate doing that off City of Traders, like, especially in this, like, modern metagame of, like, prismatic ending, just answering this card. Okay, force pitching days. That's why I didn't wait a turn. Okay, sure. Yep. Now, this is non-creature, so I can still play the Hangarback Walker and, like, attempt to go to town on that normally. Alright, there's Hangarback. I am just gonna go ahead and do this. Blow up their Keranos. And we're just gonna pretend like white removal is a thing that doesn't exist and try to win with Hangarback Walker. It will admittedly be quite good if it sticks around, because it's gonna wall Esper Sentinel and grow. But I have to dodge, like, Source of Plowshares and Prismatic Ending here. Oh, opponent isn't willing to make the attack in. Great. Land go. Alright, we might actually get to do the Hangarback Walker shenanigans that I imagined doing when I put together this deck list in this round. Okay. What are we working with? Sure. Memory. Reasonable. Only an Esper Sentinel in there right now. That's actually great for me. Alright, Hangarback Walker. It's time, bud. Schadenport, sure. Do I port my opponent? Yeah, porting my opponent is probably better than growing Hangarback Walker right now. I'll attack even. Okay. I will trade that damage, that's fine. Let's go after this mana. This Mox Opal is not on yet. Opponent has 2 artifacts currently. Yeah, you can float your mana, like brainstorm away if you got it. You do not. 2 damage. Yeah, I was obviously fine with the 2 damage for 2 damage trade. I was the one who originated that. Ooh, and no more land. Fantastic. I will not play the Mystic Forge into Esper Sentinel then. I'll just continue to port my opponent, and then next turn I'll probably just play the Mystic Forge and be good with it then. Nice, nice. Alright, good stuff. Esper Sentinel, like, makes days very, very significantly better, because if you pay for the tax, you can still get dazed. Might even wait longer to play the Mystic Forge. It's a pretty important card. Yeah. Yeah. Cast Chalice of the Void. Absolutely paying the tax. If that resolves. Does not. Which is an Emery. I'll bash in for 2. Like, I'm just getting closer to the point where I can resolve this Mystic Forge and have it be good. Which I am A-okay with. Got it. Okay, still no land drops from my opponent, unfortunately. Or, well, you know, fortunately for me. Like, that's what I want my deck to do, right? Wasteland. Sure. I'm good with this. Alright, so let's pay that tax. And I'm doing this around a days even. Another back to basics deck. I think I'm just gonna hold back this turn. Okay, opponent is playing a new Emery in an attempt to find something to do, and they whiff. That's brutal. That means no attacks for them, and the Hangarback will grow. I don't want more Ancient Tomb here. I think I like the attack. This is going to be something I'm going to go back and forth on a lot, depending on like the exact nature of my draws. I think I want to get in my damage before my opponent finds a white source, and then Recursive Esper Sentinel is a thing that keeps me from doing the damage that I otherwise would be doing. Okay, yeah. So now they can play Esper Sentinels from Graveyard, which means my Hangarback Walker is on defensive duty. Yep. Got it. It's also a basic land, so I can't just Wasteland it. And I'll take 1. I can continue to just keep my opponent off of mana sources, though. So there are worlds where I can eventually start attacking again. Or I can get draws like that. Maybe I do just keep attacking here. Trade 3 damage for 3 damage. I'm winning that race. I keep the white source ported down. Yeah, I'll make the attack here. Like, if things get dicey, I just play Ensnaring Bridge and turtle the fuck up and, like, never attack again. Okay. Opponent just eats the damage. I'll play a Glimmer Post. And then we do this game, where I Rashad and port your shit. And I repeat. Cool. I would not hate the ability to sacrifice this Hangarback Walker. These tokens fly. Was it this game that I used Expedition Map? No, that was a previous game. Ornithopter, sure. Ornithopters are actually pretty annoying. That's a lot of Ornithopters. So now these things just like chump block forever, and it becomes like not really profitable for me to attack anymore. Take my 3 damage. And I probably have to just play the Ensnaring Bridge. How much damage do I want to take off these Ancient Tombs to play around Esper Sentinel effects / Rashad and port my opponent? I think it's worth taking 2 to do this. So let's do that. Pay the tax twice. Let that resolve. And then port my opponent off of white. Alright, port. Now these things are still technically able to like get in the red zone this turn, but I'm hoping to shut that off long term. Pithing Needle is probably going on Emery as of right now. Yep, okay, saw this coming. So I do this, and then my opponent can recast an Esper Sentinel via a Mox Opal. That's fine. That's why we are going to Pithing Needle that. 2 mana. No, it should just be the Opal. There we go. Alice is very good. So I will play a Pithing Needle and pay my tax twice. Okay. Pithing Needle and Emery. Worth using Ancient Tomb? I don't think so. Like, I think I'm past the whole, like, mana bottleneck thing. Okay. Fucking punished. Like, now my Ensnaring Bridge is awful. Okay. I just concede here, right? Like, I'm not... It's insane for me to get combat damage in at this point. I have one basic waste in my deck. Like, I'm just awful against this card. I've run into it twice. I'm gonna concede here. I think this is gonna be miserable content to watch if I play this out. Okay, round 5, opening hand is an easy mulligan here. Yep, going down again. This is a 5-card hand. It's an Urza's Saga hand. This is going to be a keep, so Walker goes back, and probably the Lodestone Golem for being expensive. We're pretty decent versus combo, assuming we get a turn or two. Okay, this is not actually combo. Oh, maybe it is combo? Mishra's Bauble? This is an artifact deck again. Okay. My Chalice will go on 0 here. Feel very confident about that. Crucible. Sick. Alright. So, land drop. Chalice on 0. Pass. So, this is potentially just a mono blue deck. Oh, okay. That's horrifying. I love what my opponent is doing, obviously. I am gonna get run the fuck over. My opponent's Hangarback Walker is here to save the day? Okay. It's gonna get weird. I don't think I am going to produce enough mana in order to get this Hangarback Walker to a... Fuck me. Okay. To get the Hangarback Walker to a point where I can just, like, get the Urza's Saga tokens that are larger. I think my opponent is going to kill me next turn in a lot of worlds. I'm getting hit for 5 here. And, that's 15. If I'm not dead next turn, I'm certainly dead the following turn. I need Ensnaring Bridge as my draw, I think. So I play this, and I'll put a Crucible into play. I think without Ensnaring Bridge as my next draw, I am just dead. Every artifact that my opponent puts into play is +2 power. So I will be on the brink of death here, if not dead, depending on how many artifacts my opponent can play. Sure. They can name Urza Saga to keep me from getting my own constructs. Yep. This is 13 damage. So it is literally Ensnaring Bridge or I am dead, I believe. I'm at 2. Wasteland. That is too late. So I can make an Urza Saga token, and then I die to my opponent's other creature. Absolute blistering start from my opponent. Okay. My chalices are good on 0. My spheres are probably bad. Unsure about my actual factual smokestacks. I have cards that do things that I can board in. Like, the spheres go out for some amount of this stuff. I'm gonna just kind of take a quick look here. Like, can I reasonably smokestack? I don't know that I can reasonably smokestack here. My opponent's deck is so fast. I need to just play bridges and hide. I don't think I'm gonna get to make a single Thoucher token off Hangarback Walker in this league. Like, if I play smokestacks and my opponent just does Emery shit, like, that just kind of invalidates this, right? That's disappointing. Okay. I still like the Hangarbacks because they create a billion blockers. And they will potentially be the way that I just win the game. I might have to tutor for a Ravager. I am not boarding in one of these cards. I guess Trinisphere. Okay. I do not like my odds here. I mean, I have a bridge in my opening hand, so I will keep this. Okay. Post go. My opponent mulliganed once. Honestly, their draws can probably be pretty nuts. Okay, sure. Emery, yes. Horrifying. Yep, they found Bauble. Okay. Stop. Stop, please. Yeah, they're just the faster deck here. So I don't have a real turn 2 play. Play Cloud Post. And we'll see if my opponent can start doing any, like, Urza Saga sorts of shenanigans, or Karn or something this turn. What did that target? Bobble. Sure. I wonder if they could have gotten a Thought Monitor out of Graveyard. Didn't actually do the counting. Oh, they just had another one in hand. Sure. Okay. Yep. Yep. So at the end of the day, they still have 5 artifacts in play. I mean, this is pretty important here. I can shut off the Emery. I have 7 mana. Alright, let's just assume this is the correct thing that I'm playing here. Let's play a Pithing Needle. Shut down Emery. I have 6 mana remaining. I can go Karn into a 2-drop. Or I can just play Karn. I can't tutor for another bridge. I can play Karn and just legit tutor for a Worm Coil. Treat that as the distraction. Let's do that. Alright, there's a Karn. Oh. Thought we were going to play that out for a little while longer. Like, it's very good on that board. Do I want to play Torpor Orb? Because it shuts off Emery ETBs and Thought Monitor ETBs. I don't think so. It's okay. I think I'm just going to submit as is. Turn 1, Chalice on 0, and Grim Monolith. Turn 2, Karn? Yeah. Absolutely. See how bonkers my opponent's turn 1 is. Well, depends on how much mana you get, how scary that is. Ah! Okay, Metalcraft is on. You gonna name Karn? You're gonna name Wasteland. You're gonna name Karn. I mean, this still does... Wow, Thoughtcast on turn 1 as well. Karn still does a lot of damage on turn 2. Like, just as something that shuts off all the artifacts. Alright, so... Land. Chalice on 0. 2 mana. Grim Monolith. Oh, wow. That very much surprises me. Like, I would think you would want to just Force of Will the thing that I would cast with the Grim Monolith, but maybe I'm wrong here. I need to work towards getting an Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. Tapped Cloud Post. Hangarback Walker will save me at least 2 life, probably much more than that. But I think my opponent is just gonna crap constructs on me and just win the game because they were on the play here. I think like 2 of these things plus a Shadow Spear or a Retrofitter Foundry is just going to obliterate me. Like, it doesn't matter that I have the Karn that can shut off all their artifacts at this point when I have to deal with the constructs. I'm 100% going to be at the mercy of the top of my deck. Are you also going to name Karn with that one? Alright, you're going to name the Hangarback Walker. That's reasonable. Which means I probably just cash this in for the life here. I only get 1 out of it. That's okay. But I like have to draw Ensnaring Bridge, right? So like I'll play Wasteland now. I'll Wasteland the Urza Saga. I get a chump block this turn. And then I basically need to draw a bridge as my next draw step or I'm dead. If I draw the bridge, like, game fucking on. We're getting in there. We're doing stuff. That's not it. So I can play a Lodestone Golem. I go down to 6 life for doing that. My opponent attacks with 2 creatures, and I die. I don't have 0 drops that I can just Mystic Forge turn through my deck. I am dead here. GG's. So we end up 2-3 in this league. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Not really viable. We played against 4 white removal decks in a row where Hangarback Walker was just, like, not a reasonable Magic card. Like, when you can't just sit there with that thing and let it accrue counters or otherwise do something broken with it via something like Hardened Scales, it did not feel good to be playing that Magic card. I said this at the end of the last Stacks video that I recorded, but the last Stacks league I recorded before this one, I did not put a single counter on a Smokestack in the entire league, I think, despite playing Smokestack multiple times. And this time around, I did not cast a single Smokestacks. And I think I frequently binned it on mulligans because it wasn't good in the early game. The matches were determined by the time I got to, like, the places where I could reasonably cast a Smokestack. So I don't think Hangarback Walker Smokestacks is the direction you want to go if you want to play Hangarback Walker in Legacy. Like, maybe you can mess around with some sort of hardened scales thing. Like, there's Widening Constrictor as well. You can try to really double up on those counters and do something cool with it. But I'm not sure how viable that's going to be either. I will say that the whole, like, Sphere of Resistance, Chalice of the Void side of the deck did pretty good things today. I've been pretty underwhelmed by Chalice, as we saw playing against Prismatic Ending repeatedly. Like, it just gets answered. It doesn't stick around the entire game like it used to. But Sphere of Resistance, like, plus Wasteland was pretty reasonable. So, like, I don't think this deck as it stands is super viable because of, like, how dominant white-based removal decks are in Legacy right now. Like, I'm recording this on January 18th. Like, right now, they're outperforming the Delver decks in events in terms of, like, popularity and results. So this is not the time to mess around with Hangarback Walker. Maybe try again later. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts about adjusting the deck list, let me know in the comments. If you haven't thrown me a like already, please do that on your way out. Have a great rest of the day. Hope to see you again soon. See ya!